So the countdown to this year's World Cup is well and truly on as 32 nations combine to create the greatest sporting spectacular on the bloody planet. But in this video, I'm going to try and answer you one simple question. Can Wales win this year's World Cup? That's right, folks, back once again with another World Cup summary video. That's right, where we're going to try and answer one simple question. Can this nation actually go out and win the World Cup out in Qatar? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang it, all things World Cup related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football itself related. We got it all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, the countdown is well and truly on, with the tournament set to kick off in November 2022, of course. But what's going to happen this coming World Cup? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. And if you are interested in helping out the channel in another way, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Patreon, and of course there's a Discord in there. So get in amongst it and let's get chatting. Next up, of course, it is the Tiny Wales. That's right, of course, who squeaked through the back door, qualifying for this year's World Cup. It's an absolutely fantastic achievement for the Welsh. And of course, as a Scot, I'm happy that there's another British representative out in Qatar 2022. So let's talk about how the Welsh made it to this year's tournament. Of course, they qualified via the playoff path A winners. We'll elaborate on that shortly, of course. They qualified on the 5th of June 2022. It's their just their second tournament, of course. Their last was back in 1958. Long overdue, and of course, a lot of Welsh talent has come and gone since 58. And of course, Gareth Bale leads the charge these days for the Welsh Dragons, yet to make his World Cup debut, but he's here. He's playing football now in the United States, of course, which doesn't it's not a eliminator these days. He's still got that talent, he's still got the passion, and of course he's wanting to drive this Welsh team into at least the knockout stages and maybe and beyond. So this will be the first in a while. Best was in the quarterfinals in 1958. Did we see some of that? Just remind me, did we see a similar thing with the Welsh in the Euros? Did they ever qualified prior to the Euros that they made the semi-finals? But regardless of that, quarterfinals 1958, can they equal that? Can they better it? It's going to be a tough old order, I imagine. Of course, they are managed. In fact, let's back it up here. Of course, this is their group. Their group in the early days of the European qualifying phase included the likes of Belgium, who came out through unbeaten. Of course, the Welsh just suffered one defeat. That one defeat was against was it against Belarus? No, it was against Belgium. Belgium 3-1 it was there. Of course it was. And a difficult group, of course, against the Czech Republic, who were only ousted by just 1 point in the end. So of course the Welsh made it through to a playoff where they took on Austria in the first semi-final. They came out on top of that one, and then they took on the winners of either Scotland or Ukraine. Ukraine were too good, too strong over the Scots, and came out a 3-1 win in the end as well. The Welsh then took on the Ukraine, of course, which was a bizarro scenario. That game was delayed because of the crisis going out in Ukraine right here and now, and it was a little bit hard. It was a hard one for everybody around the world, and probably including the Welsh, because of what was going on in Ukraine. A lot of people wanted the Ukraine nation to go through, because of the scenario going on in there. But at the end of the day, the Welsh took their chance, they got the goal, and they are there in Qatar 2020. They are managed by Rob Page, is now in there in the hot seat, of course, on merit, after doing a fantastic job in the Euros, of course, last year as well. The VIP is, of course, none other than Gareth Bale, but they do have a quality of talent across the board. We've got Aaron Ramsey now playing over in the top flight in France. I've got some young guns, Brennan Johnson as well, who's burst on the scene for Nottingham Forest, and more. They're, of course, expected to compete well in this group, of course, which is Group B, alongside England, alongside Iran, and of course the United States make up the four-piece here. Of course, they'll kick off the tournament up against the United States. That is match number 1 for them. That is on the 21st of November. I'll let you know now. We're going to probably have a watch-along for that game. We'll probably have a lot of watch-alongs for all the games. Of course, hopefully I'm going to be in the hot seat. We might have somebody else in the hot seat as well. So that is, of course, the key match is against the United States. That is match number 1. Of course, they do end up their the three-match series up against England in a bit bit of a mini battle of Britain there. And of course, their second match is against Iran. And why do I say the United States is the key match? Well, I do believe Wales would have enough in the tank. It's going to be a tough game against Iran in the second game, which could go either way. It could go either way, but I think Wales will have enough in the tank to get a result against them. So let's just imagine, let's put a pencil in 3 points for that. Get a point or more out of USA, and guess what? You're putting your tippy toe into the next stage. I think you're competing for the United States for that second spot, and I don't think it's an easy fight. I think it's very, very difficult, very fine margins, of course, but who's going to have it hidden in their heart? Who's going to want this more? Does the Welsh want it more? Do the United States want it more? For me, we'll talk about that as well. And again, it could end up being they'll need to win or get something against England, which will raise the nation, of course. So that's why, for me, the key match is United States. And it is match number 1. Get off to a fly, get 3 points in the bag, take a point or more against, of course, Iran. If you can win the first 2, 6 points in the board, you could probably even challenge England for that top group. And again, who knows, of course. The odds 11-10 for the Welsh to qualify out of this group, and of course the odds for them to win is 150-1. They've got the players, they've got the recent experience, and of course they are buoyed on from that collective unit. Wales have pretty much a core amount of players that have been there with Gareth Bale from, was it 2016? I think it was or it was 2016, the first Euros where they made it to the semi-finals. Of course, Coleman was in charge there. Then Giggs, we don't really want to talk about him, took over the reins, and of course I don't think they made the World Cup then. Of course they didn't, but they were back for the next Euros. And of course, they did pretty well in that one as well. So they're still buoyed on by a lot of the players that were there for the initial success, where they drove the team with the belief, with the fire in the bellies, to deep into that tournament. Can they do it again this time? Well, Linda, I'm ready.
Can they win the World Cup?
Can they win the World Cup? Well, again, never say never, of course, but realistically, I think no. I don't think they can. They're not in that top 8 for me. I don't think they're going to fall into that bracket, of course. So realistically,
will they win the World Cup?
Yeah, and that also would eliminate them as well. However, I do think with the Welsh are going to have a tournament here. They're going to have a tournament. They're going to make it through to the second round. I do believe it. However, I don't think they'll get much further than that. I just think when you get to the knockout stages, the quality does really rise to the top. And again, the Euros was different. We saw a lot of fraudsters out there, guys or teams that try to fake it till they make it, and they weren't good enough. As well. So I think the Welsh will have enough to get out of this group, and their pride will get them there. But the second round is going to be difficult. You're going to, especially if you finish as runners. If you do finish as top in this group over the likes of England, then I do think that you could maybe make it to the quarterfinals. But realistically, I think you're going to finish second, and then you're going to be up against a winner of a previous group. And I do think Wales are going to fall short in that regard. So second round for me at best for Wales, but of course a fantastic experience just being here. And of course I'm looking forward to seeing Bale, Johnson, Ramsey, and there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. A short, sharp take on this nation's chances out in Qatar 2022. What do you expect this country will do in this year's tournament? Do you think they'll get out of the group stages, or do you think they'll go deep into the competition itself? Let me know your opinion down below. And of course we'll look forward to non-stop coverage right here at Blackburn Overseas. We're going to have, of course, predictions, previews, reviews, reactions, and of course reactions from real fans themselves, of course. So that's all to look forward to this year out in Qatar 2022. So make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and smash the little bell, boys and girls, as we look forward to a fantastic winter, or at least late 2022 of world football. Let me know your thoughts and opinions again about this nation, and of course the tournament itself, in the comment section. But until then, guys and girls, I'll see you soon for the next one.